Here we are at Central Park, currently at Belvedere Castle. As I'm walking around, I wasn't thinking about much. Then I started thinking about, I guess, accountability. There are a lot of things that I myself need to hold myself accountable for, as far as past decisions I've made and going forward in the future. I think I've, you know, gotten around to doing a pretty good job of that. Accountability is a word you hear a lot these days. Why? Because not a lot of people hold themselves accountable for shit they do and say, for one reason or another. It goes back to something I've already said before in a past video about, blaming other people for shit that you could have done better. I just, at the end of the day, don't think enough people hold themselves accountable for the things that they do and say. People could do better at that. I can do better at that. Even to this day, I'm still striving and learning to be better, be more accountable. I'm also holding myself accountable for why I'm not where I want to be in my life right now. That's strictly because of me. Can't blame nobody else for that. But I think a lot of people, we just like to have someone to blame and somebody to point a finger at. And it's just human nature. It is what it is. The best way to get over that and to get through that is to, reassess yourself and plan better, do better. That's just about it. I don't mean to beat a dead horse. I've already probably talked about this before. It just was on my mind again as I was walking through Central Park. It just cropped up in my head for whatever reason. I was thinking about the amount of people, I guess just the amount of people who don't hold themselves accountable for shit that they've done or actions they've taken. There are a lot of people who don't hold themselves accountable for why they are at where they are in life currently. Like, you can't really blame anybody else but yourself. Now, or you can't blame anybody else for your life not progressing the way that you think it should. Instead of blaming, the best thing to do is look towards the future. What could you do to get where you're trying to go in your life? That's where I am in my head right now. I'm just looking towards what I need to do to get where I want to be in life. But I don't want to be unhappy. That's like one of the main things. I don't want to be unhappy. I do want happiness in my life. I don't want to be stuck with no dead-end job. I don't want to be doing something just to say I'm doing it, just to get the, attention from doing something that I feel like is the right thing to do. Because a lot of people do what they do in life because it's the safest path. Everybody takes the easier paths in life, which is cool, sometimes at the expense of their own happiness, though. It's easy to go for that degree or that certification or that trade. It's easy to go for those things. But is that what's going to make you happy? If yes, then cool. Now, of course, if you have kids and whatnot, you got to think about them. At that point, it's no longer you. But no, let me take that back. Even if you do have kids, your happiness still does matter to a degree. But you have to make sacrifices for them. Sometimes you got to sacrifice your happiness for them. But I don't think that should be the case all the time. Because in order to make them happy, you have to be happy, right? I don't have kids, so I can't really speak to this too much. I'm just going about it how I see it in my head. Are you doing what you're doing right now because it makes you happy? Or are you doing what you're doing right now because it satisfies other people? Are you doing what you're doing because it's safe? Because it looks good to other people? Like I just said, are you getting that degree because you're trying to pursue a career that's going to satisfy you and bring you purpose in life? Or are you doing it just to say, just to show people you did it? I don't want to get caught up in sacrificing my happiness to do stuff that looks good for other people. Of course, I want to be in an area in my life where I'm making good money, but I want to be successful in areas that bring me purpose and fulfillment in my life. I don't want to be stuck in the rat race all my life. So I'm actively trying to go about life to find what makes me happy and what brings me purpose. Like I just already said, I'm not going to get caught up in that doing this or that just because, it looks good to other people or it's the safest route in life. I seen something recently about, taking more risks in life. There was a post on Instagram that was talking about taking risks, because the person who doesn't take risks is nothing, does nothing, has nothing, something along that line. In a nutshell, it was saying a person who doesn't take risks might save themselves from pain and embarrassment, but in exchange for learning to love and grow. That's in a nutshell. That's not word for word. And the person who takes risks is the one who is truly free. And it got me to thinking, like, I've been living a life myself where I haven't took much risk, simply because I've been brought up to, take the more safer routes in life. Safer isn't always better. What's comfortable isn't always better. Like they say, high risk, high reward. You know what I mean? I think high risk doesn't necessarily mean if you, fail, you'll lose everything. I guess depending on what you're doing. Now, gambling, if you're risking your life savings, that's not the right path to go down. If you risk your life savings, you're going to lose it all, and that's your fault. But in another realm, somebody who goes out to achieve their dreams and they fail, it is what it is. You fail, you bounce back with what you learned from that failure. I don't think you should give up because you failed. I don't think you should give up because you feel embarrassed or because you feel like you don't know what you're doing, because the whole process is to learn in the first place. Kind of going over things I've already talked about, but this whole thought process stemmed from, like I said earlier, accountability. I think taking risks counts for something. Just, of course, do your plan a little bit, research, but I don't think anybody should be afraid to take that big jump. If you need to move, if you're thinking about moving, if you've been thinking about changing locations, do it. It sounds risky, but the reward is just so much better than you would think. If you've been thinking about pursuing a certain career because it's going to give you purpose and fulfill you, go for it. What are you waiting on? Somebody's approval? If you have a dream that you want to pursue, what's stopping you? Like, take a minute to really ask yourself, what's stopping you? What's stopping you? What's stopping you from pursuing what you really want in life? I've been asking myself that, and I've come up on a few answers, but sometimes I also ask myself, what do I even really want in life? And I think the answer I keep coming back to is just to be happy. It sounds vague though. What's gonna make me happy? Being successful. And what? I don't know. That's what it all comes down to. Figuring out what you want to be successful in, what makes you happy. I think for me personally, being able to be my full self would make me happy. Like finding a career, of course, that would also make me happy. Like, I have dreams, but just been too scared to pursue them myself. I'm just like anybody else, But that's why I've been actually actively trying to figure it out. I think if you sit in your head too long and you internalize it, you never actually get out to go do it. If you don't know what you want to do, you got to get out there and figure it out. I spent a lot of my life not knowing what I want to do with my life. These days, I've been more active in trying to go figure out exactly what I want for myself. I hate that it took me to move from home for me to get that mindset. But like I said, if I want to be happy, I got to figure out what's going to make me happy. If I want success, I got to figure out what I want to be successful in. I think a lot of people don't know what they want or haven't had time to sit and think about what they want. They just gravitate towards the safer options in life and what makes other people happy. If you don't figure out what makes you happy and live your own life, other people end up living it for you. And you just leave too much room for yourself to be influenced and controlled by external sources outside of yourself. So the people who don't know what they want to do with their life, it comes down to just trying different shit and figuring it out. I don't know what I don't know what that looks like for you. For me, it's just been doing different stuff, going out more, trying different foods, having more conversations, which is a big problem for me. Being more open to have conversations and being more sociable. That's something I really need to conquer because I'm very reserved. I don't go out and talk much, but I'm working on it. What I've really been doing is trying to tackle my weaknesses. What am I insufficient at? I barely know what my strengths are. I have a vague idea of what my strengths are as a person. I feel like since I don't have a good idea on what my strengths are, I've been focusing on my weaknesses. Close in on your weaknesses, figure out what you need to get better at, and maybe that'll help. I don't know. That's what I've been doing. It might help for you too. Who knows? The point is to try to figure it out. If you're not active in trying to figure it out, it'll never get figured out. And then if you already know your strengths, then as I've already said before, play to them. You know, if you know how to conversate, hell, I think conversation. I envy people who know how to conversate. The conversation rules the nation. You talk to the right people, it gets you in the right spaces where you want to be in life. You end up gathering the information you want from people who, can put you or possibly guide you towards where you're trying to go. And networking is so important. Building relationships and having people in your corner and in your network that you can contact for specific purposes or to get in certain rooms, get to certain events. It's a valuable skill. If you're weak at it, you got to strengthen it. It's worth it. I'm trying. It's hard. It's just something it's so ingrained in me to keep to myself. I've been doing it for so long and only opening up to the people that I truly love and care about that it's like reverse engineering myself or like trying to break what's already encoded in my mind. That's hard to work against habits that you've built up damn near your whole life. There are ways to get around it and learn how to be different or learn how to mitigate, those behaviors that are ingrained in you. And I've forcibly put myself in situations where I have to get over that. There are things I've been doing, classes I've been taking just to force myself to actually have to get over my fears and weaknesses. Because if I don't, that's going to keep holding me back. You know what I mean? So you got to lean into what you fear and put yourself in predicaments where you're forced to conquer your fears and develop your weaknesses. I think that's worth it to be a well-rounded person and to get where you need to be in life. I'm no damn doctor or professor or anything, but it's just what I've been doing to try to tackle my own goddamn fears and weaknesses. Results don't come overnight. You got to remember, you're working against years and years of programming on yourself that you built up to a certain point. So it's nothing that happens overnight. No, there are no quick results. And that's another thing, people give up so easy on stuff like that because they're expecting quick results and they want everything to happen so fast because we're living in a microwave society right now. Like everybody wants everything quick. Everybody wants love quick. Everybody wants sex quick. Nobody wants to work for anything, develop any skills to contribute towards society. Nobody wants to develop the skills and talents to get the attention that they crave. Nobody can imagine spending 5, 10, maybe 15 years to develop a business or a talent or a skill to be successful. Nobody thinks about the long term, the long run. Everybody wants what they want right here and right now. People want money easy and quick. People want money right now. People want attention right now. That's just the world we're living in right now. At least for a lot of people. I won't say everybody, but there are too many people that want immediate results from everything that they encounter. That's why we got people wanting fast money. That's why we got so many scammers and, begging ass people. Everybody wants to spend your money and your time instead of developing the knowledge and the skills it takes to get their own money. You know what I mean? Too many leeches in the world that's preying on people. It's just the world we live in right now. Nobody wants to do for themselves, because it takes too long for most people. Everything great takes time. If you expect quick results from everything, it ain't great. If you meet a person and you love them by tomorrow, some relationships like that may work out for years and years. At the end of the day, if you didn't build up to that, if y'all don't have any foundation and it's shaky, you can't expect for it to last that long. That's not the type of thing that's going to carry out in the long run. If you have a business and you're expecting for it to take off immediately, you don't want to build the foundation that it takes to actually, do your research, you know what I mean, reinvest into it, go through periods of failure. Then how can you expect to have a successful business for the long run? And I'm no entrepreneur, so maybe I'm not qualified to talk about that. But the point is, nothing great comes easy. Nothing great ever came quick to anybody. The greatest things took time to build. If you live in a life looking for everything to come to you quick and easy, you'll never be happy. You'll always be unfulfilled. You should take time to develop yourself so the value can come from within. Because once the value starts coming from within, it's going to translate externally into everything that you do. You'll be able to appreciate the process. You'll be able to appreciate the time that it takes to build whatever you're trying to build. And along the way, it'll just make you a better person. You'll be living a better life. Now, that's just facts, you know what I mean? Success and attention are the natural byproduct of something that you worked hard on. It should never be the main focus. If you make success and attention your main focus, it may never happen. You may never do what makes you happy. Success and attention are the natural byproduct of something great. If you're doing what you're doing just because you want attention, you're going to be chasing attention forever. And when you don't get it, you won't feel happy. A lot of people do what they do simply because they like the attention for doing what they do, not because it makes them happy or because it's beneficial for them or because it fulfills them or because it's their purpose. If you get caught up in chasing that attention, it's going to be like you chasing a drug. You're never going to feel fulfilled at all unless you keep getting that attention constantly. If you truly want attention, it's just going to keep running from you and you're going to keep chasing it. But if you truly put your time and energy into working on something that's great, naturally, you're going to get all the attention and success that you've been looking for. Or better yet, I should say, you will naturally get all the attention and success that comes with that. If you do simple things to get attention, it's never going to last. The type of attention that people crave and that they're looking for can only come from developing something great, like a skill, a talent, a business, a product. But the type of attention that people attract these days, like for instance through social media, they're getting it off of simple things. People are like water. They take the path of least resistance. They'd rather make a fool of themselves to gain attention because it's easier, or they would rather throw away their dignity if it means getting attention because it's so easy. You get online, you press a button, suddenly you got all these eyes watching you, and it's like a drug. People get addicted to it. People will throw away their sanity, their happiness, and their dignity, all for attention, the wrong type of attention at that. People want to be accepted so bad. They want to be acknowledged so bad that they will settle for the lowest forms of comedy, entertainment, just so people can look at them, just so the eyes are on them. You shouldn't have to sacrifice your morals just to get acknowledged and attention. It's not worth it. And at the end of the day, you're going to keep doing the same thing over and over again. You're going to have to keep repeating those same actions because it's fleeting. Like I said, we live in a microwave society. That type of attention is very fleeting. People are very fickle. They're looking at, it's 100 other people doing the same things. You know what I mean? It's about 1 million Facebook comedians. It's about 1 million chicks online shaking their ass, showing their body, which is cool. I'm here for that. But at the end of the day, what are you doing to be different? What are you doing to put yourself at a higher standard? Or what are you doing to make yourself more noticeable out of all of that bunch? It's easy to do all of that, it's too easy. It's easy to say something stupid online and provocative and get a bunch of fucking likes and a bunch of people looking at you. It's easy to post a bunch of money online, look like you got motion, which most dudes do these days. It's easy to show things that draw attention, like luxury that you can't really afford to have, but you're making it look good. It's easy to take off your clothes and, gain all the likes and the followers. I sound like an old man right now. I really do. But that's cool. I don't care. Maybe I do sound old. Maybe I'm getting old. Shit. But the point I'm trying to get across is we do everything that's easy to get where we want to be in life and to get the type of money and fame that we want. We do everything that's easy instead of doing things that take time to build and to grow and actually develop ourselves as people. And people will say I'm taking life too serious. You know what I mean? I'm not taking life serious. I'm just saying people will lose themselves in this behavior to get where they want to be in life. And it's not putting them on the path to get where they want to be in life. Unless all you want to do is be the court jester all your goddamn life. You have to think higher than that. And okay, yeah, let me reiterate. And I'm not saying take life so serious. I'm not saying take everything serious. You have to enjoy life. You have to have fun. I'm just saying for the success and attention and the growth that you should be seeking in life, you should be working towards something that's a little bit greater, with a little bit higher purpose. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to be no negative dude who just, want to sap all the fun out of everything. Like, don't get me wrong, because the more I talk, the more I probably sound like that. But that's not my point. I believe people should have fun. I believe people should, do what they want to do. I'm all about not caring about nobody else's opinion and shit. You shouldn't care about mine. You know what I mean? Hell, I'm just saying, stop doing everything that's so easy to get what you want. Challenge yourself a little bit more in life. Once you challenge yourself and develop actual talents and skills, what you're looking for will last a lot longer and it'll be a lot more meaningful. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Take time to work towards something that'll actually be a little bit more longer lasting and leave a better impression on the world and make your footprint last a little bit longer. Don't always take the path of least resistance because it's easier. And I have to do this my damn self. I have to do the same thing. Stop chasing low-hanging fruit. Aim a little bit higher. That's it. You got to be willing to contribute a vast amount of time to build something great. People like Warren Buffett, all these very rich people, Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos started Amazon, I forget which year, but it took Amazon so many years to get from where it started to where it's at now. The man started out just selling books. If I'm not mistaken, it was at his home or something like that, or I don't know. But it made him one of the richest people in the world. Warren Buffett been investing in stocks since before most of us were born. A lot of those stocks took years to, get to where they are today to make him as rich as he is. And that it's the same thing with everything. You have to realize if you want to be successful or rich, that it might not come easy and it may take a lot of time. Once you come to that realization, it's a lot easier on you. You'll be able to appreciate the process more. But if you can't appreciate the process and learn to be patient, you're not going to really grow. There are a lot of success stories that come, fairly quickly, and they may even last a little minute. In today's society, things are different. You have people getting famous and making money off little to nothing. Some people take that and they capitalize off of it and turn it into something that's longer lasting. Some people don't. A lot of people are here one day and we're talking about them and they all the rage. Next day they fizzle out. We don't even remember them a few years down the line. I don't think anybody should aspire to be the person that just disappears and your fire just fizzles out. along the line. You know what I mean? You want to be able to put your name in the history books if that's what you aspire to do. But you're not going to get successful overnight. Some people do, but not everything is an overnight success story. A lot of shit takes time. Everybody want to be rich, but don't nobody want to develop themselves to get to that point. If you're the type of person that likes to waste everybody else's time and money for your benefit, go to hell. On a serious note, think about what you can do to develop yourself to get to a point in life where you don't have to depend on nobody and you can, find value from within yourself. I've been hearing a lot like you got to learn skills, you have to learn talents. Skills pay the bills. If you have any talents, develop it. Put the time and the effort in to become great at whatever you do instead of chasing a quick success story. Hold yourself accountable when it matters, or hold yourself accountable all the time, no matter what you're doing. I believe in order to be a more happy and fulfilled person, you have to build value within yourself and develop it over time. Find happiness from within, because if you steady chasing it, it's going to keep running away. If you steady chasing money, it's going to keep running away. If you steady chasing quick love and, all of that, it's just going to keep evading you. It's not going to be as meaningful at the end of the day. So put yourself in a mental space to be able to go the distance. And me, myself, I'm trying to do the same thing. I have to do the exact same thing because there are times where I get caught up in my head and I wish I could get instant results in certain things. It's something I'm trying to unlearn, and I don't want to be that person. I've been that person for too long. Now I'm trying to change it before it's, too late. And it's never too late. When you're willing to make a change, as long as you breathe in, it's possible. But you got to realize you're working against time, and you're working against all the time that it took to build you up to where you are now. Trying to break down old habits that you've been doing for years. And it shouldn't frustrate you if the progress is slow, because you got to realize what you're working against. It's going to take time. It's not an overnight process. But as long as you're actively conscious of who you want to be, and as long as you're actively conscious of your weaknesses and your fears, then that's a step in the right direction. Because once you're in those moments where they come up, you can check yourself. It takes effort, It's not something that you can just on and off switch it. So yeah, almost wasn't gonna get a video in tonight, but I'm glad I did. I skipped last week. Try to get 2 in this week just to make up the difference. I had to get some things off my chest. I'm glad I was able to do that. I don't know. I don't think I have any more to add tonight. I'm glad I got a good message across. Hopefully people hear it. I'm actively trying to educate myself and learn from others. I don't never want to be in a space where I think I know everything. I just believe what I say is an amalgamation of things I've learned over time based off mistakes and listening to people who are wiser than me. I don't ever want to come off as somebody who knows it all. I just know what has proven itself to be effective over time, whether that's for other people or through research or anything like that. It's a lot of shit that people will come off as, like they know everything, like their way is the right way. I don't ever want to be like that. And I'm always open to correction, and I'm always open to learn more. I'm never one to think that I'm always right. That's it for tonight. Hopefully y'all enjoyed that. Peace out.